We're going to talk about Steph. What is it? 8 straight games? No, 11 straight games with 30 points or more. He's on a tear, going absolutely ridiculous. With nobody on the team. No James Wiseman, no Clay,
Yeah,
Draymond producing little amounts of help. They ended up beating the 76ers the other day. So that was a huge win for them. But there's been some concerns about Steph and his all-time rank. People still aren't really buying Steph as an all-time top 10 player.
yeah,
You know how I feel about Steph. I think he's a great shooter, one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen. The greatest shooter we've ever seen. He's definitely changed basketball in that essence, as far as like people who are just regular players know if you work hard and I practice and repetition, I could be a top player. But we talking about all-time greats. Uh, it's
yeah.
hard. It's hard for me to put him in the top 10. It's really hard. It's really hard.
So all time, he's top 20, top 15, for me.
Okay.
Now, getting into the top 10 is hard, especially just with the history of the game.
Yeah.
Now, he's never won in all of the finals that he's been in. He hasn't been Finals MVP, even though he was a very strong reason as to why they won.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people hold it against him. His playoffs, like maybe up until the finals, like Kyrie or Steph has been pretty, like in games leading up to the championship series, like he's been pretty subpar a lot of times, and we've seen him kind of fall apart sometimes in playoffs. So that's against him. But in terms of, I think with Steph Curry, I want to break it down into like best point guard of all time, or like in that list, like who's the best point guards list. Um, and with that being said, he'd be top three point guard.
Who you
I
got as
put
top
him.
three?
You said what?
Who you got in your top three?
I got Magic Johnson, of course, greatest point guard of all time. Um, and then that next one gets a little interesting because I go like not Penny Hardaway, Oscar Robinson. I really like as a point guard. Um, dang, Oscar, Magic, Oscar, then Steph. For me,
Okay.
and I know you
So
got like the Mike Bibbies, the Jason Kidds, Steve Nash. Almost, I like a little bit more than Steph. I put Steve Nash and Steph kind of right there together. Um,
okay. So
because
some people that
Steph.
some
No,
people
go ahead.
that some people that you may be looking over. So John Stockton,
I did forget about John.
Chris Paul.
Okay.
We're putting Allen Iverson as a point guard.
No, I'm gonna keep him at shooting.
Okay.
Shooting point. Shooting point.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So I'll say John Stockton, Chris Paul. They deserve a little bit. Jerry West. Uh,
Jerry West. I did forget about Jay
but yeah,
West.
it's for the point guard. He does fit into that mold. I get that. So yeah, but I don't know. I think Steph. We forget that Steph's first ring came when Kyrie and Kevin Love got injured. Right. He lost a 3-1 lead to LeBron. He then got KD with him to beat LeBron. And
Mm-hmm.
then when KD was injured for the Toronto series, and you still had Clay, you still had Draymond, you still had the DeMarcus Cousins, you still lost to the Toronto Raptors. So I'm not high on Steph Curry like most people. So it's like I say top 15, top 20, yes. Top 10, I don't see much that he can do to get into the top 10. I really don't. And that's going to be frustrating to him when you have KD, LeBron, and more people from like this generation in top 10 ahead of him. You know.
What? So what? Hypothetically, of course. What happens if next year Steph, Clay, maybe Draymond, and they get somebody instead of Draymond, they
Mhm.
come back win a championship.
In what fashion?
I mean, not they're not blowing people out, but they look good. They lose maybe one or two games every round. Get to the championship, maybe lose like one or two games, but
Okay, so if they win one more with the gang, he makes a case for top 10 for sure. Does that
Okay.
what, 4 championships?
Or yeah.
Yeah, so he would make the case for it if that was the case. But as of right now, no, he's not in the top 10.
Okay. What about point guards? Where do you put him on that point guard list? Not including AI.
Okay, so Magic, you got Dre West, you got. I might put Steve Nash. That's hard.
That's hard. Once
That's
you get Steve in the mix.
Yeah, it's hard because Steve is he stands out. He stands out as a point guard. Jason Kidd to me stands out as a point guard. Chris Paul
Yeah.
stands out to me as a point guard.
Yeah.
So I think those three I might possibly put ahead of him. He might be top 5, top 6 point guard of all time.
Okay. So you think Chris Paul's better than Steph Curry?
Yes.
Okay. Justin,
That's a hot take. I know.
that's a hot take. That's a hot take. But I mean, I get it. Like I can get it because we see what Chris Paul has always done, like, his entire career.
Yeah.
And he's been solid. Even now, like, he's still point guard. Like, when you talk about point guard, somebody that makes their team better, somebody that can make their individual players better.
Mhm.
I mean, Chris Paul is a game manager. Like, he controls the offense. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. That's a debate. That's definitely a debate. That's a debate. Yeah, we're definitely not throwing that off. I think I would take Steph Curry over Chris Paul, but I could see people saying Chris Paul is a better point guard, better player than Steph Curry. It's tough for Steph because, like you said, like, you have the playoff things, you have the fact that you lost 3-1 leads, like, to LeBron. You did win when Kevin and Kyrie were out. You did get Kevin Durant on top of having the greatest shooter of all time, and so it's some stuff that definitely fell in his lap and kind of helped him win. So I don't know. I think we'll have to judge Steph on when his career is done rather than now, because he still has some stuff left in the tank. And he hasn't played with a full proper team in the last 2 years. He hasn't had his boy. Like, they've had a terrible team, low key, for the last 2 years.
But that's part of the reason why. For me, it's not when everything is going good what you do, is when things are going bad. Chris Paul, he got traded to OKC. It was supposed to be a wash season. It's supposed to be a throwaway season. He got that team to a better record than the Houston Rockets. And it's like, Chris Paul, you drop him anywhere. It don't matter what the team is. You're going to the playoffs and you're going to be an impact player. Steph, I'm not saying he can't be an impact player, but it's just a lot of excuses for Steph.
That is true. Steph does. We give him a lot of passes, a lot of excuses. I would not lie to you on that. I don't even know why we've done that, like, as an NBA culture. But I get it. You can drop Chris Paul anywhere and he'll change life there and make his other teammates better. So in that regard, Chris Paul is technically a better point guard than Steph Curry. I'm not mad at that. I think, and here go the excuses again. When Steph gets Clay and kind of get that team back, it'll be a different story. He's doing his thing right now, though. At the end of the day, we'll see. I mean, he might, if they make playoffs, this could be one of his moments, like, to where he establishes himself in that top 15, top 10 kind of arc. Because if he gets this team anywhere in the playoffs, like, contend Western Conference Finals, maybe championship, which I highly doubt. Yeah. But if he gets them there, that's gonna have to be something that we speak about.
But then also, if he loses in the play-in tournament, we can't make excuses for him.
Yeah, we can't be like, just wait till you get Clay. Da 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 da. You got to work with what you got, and you a player. You playing for a reason. So we'll see.